Hi, all, and welcome to another interesting episode of Astro Erudition. We have known of the many space expeditions that we have celebrated. But do we know that even animals were equal partners in our space expeditions? As much as we are proud of our space success stories, our co inhabitants too need to be lauded for being our space partners. In this video, you will be amazed to know that a variety of animals have been sent to space. Fireflies, dogs, monkeys, and even tardigrades, water bears, and many more were sent to space. Some returned alive, but some gave up. Till date, a total of 32 monkeys have flown in space. Interesting, isn't it? In the year 1947, the United States of America sent fruit flies. They were the first animals to travel to space and the first to return too. These were sent to test effects of radiation on living organisms and to see if the radiation from space would affect the future astronauts. The flight lasted 3 minutes and lo, they returned to Earth untouched by radiation. This definitely increased the prospect of sending other animals like monkeys and dogs to space. After the successful launch of fruit flies, the monkeys followed the suit. Albert II, a rhesus monkey, became the first primate, the first mammal to be launched in space. In 1949, US launched the capsule after the failure of Albert I. Sadly, Albert II died on impact after a parachute failure. In 1951, the first dogs to go up in the space were Zigan and Zazek. These two dogs were launched in space and not in the orbit. They were launched from the Soviet Union. They reached space, though they didn't orbit, and became the first higher living organisms to survive a space flight. Sadly, Zazek died on a second flight attempt in September of that year with another dog named Lisa. They died as the parachute failed to deploy. A specific mention of the dog Leica, a part terrier mongrel, launched into orbit aboard the Sputnik 2, cannot be ignored. It was known that she may not survive the journey, as then Sputnik 2 had no technology to return from the orbit. There was enough food and water to sustain Leica for 7 days. She barely survived for 6 hours and failed due to the fourth orbit as her cabin was overheated. 5 months later, Sputnik 2 re-entered the atmosphere and the burnt cabin cremated Leica in the process. This mutt was truly a pioneer who made it to space, followed by Yuri Gagarin in 1961, the first human being to land in space. In August 1960, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik 5, which carried the dogs Belka and Strelka along with other animals. It was the first spacecraft to carry animals into orbit and return them alive. They returned after a day's travel from space. Strelka even went on to have a litter of 6 puppies. One of Strelka's pups, Pushinka, bred and was born after her mission. She was given as a present to Kathleen Kennedy. Last to be sent in the recent years were tardigrades. Tardigrades, also known as water bears, are microscopic invertebrates able to deal with almost anything on Earth. They were able to survive 10 days of exposure to open space with their natural protection. With each experiment to send animals in space, many species were sent to space. Some met tragic deaths, some returned as heroes. The silent contribution of our co-astronauts can never be ignored. They deserve a bow for their contribution to research and many such successful attempts done on the basis of their findings. That's all, folks. Hope you like this edition of our series. Hit the like icon and don't forget to share and subscribe. Thank you.